In Canada, we have a number of different products, even as it relates specifically to auto insurance. In Ontario specifically, we have liability insurance, and that's what is available to you that covers you in the event that you are at fault in an accident. So whether you fell asleep at the wheel and you had passengers that become injured as a result of that, then you have liability insurance that covers you off for any injuries that they have. Same with, if you happen to cause an accident from some other way. In Ontario and in Canada, we tend to have much higher liability limits than in the United States, quite often in the United States. And this is a concern for some of our clients who get in accidents when they're on vacation in Florida or somewhere like that. It's not their fault. They get hit by a car that maybe only has $30,000 policy limits and they have very serious injuries. Well, that's not enough. So what we have in Ontario is we have available under your own policy, you have uninsured and underinsured motorist protection, which if you do get in an accident with somebody who doesn't have enough insurance, you go to your own policy just as though it's theirs. So you essentially have a lawsuit against your own policy for the difference between the amount of insurance coverage they have available and the amount of your actual claim up to the limits of your own policy. The other thing that we have in Ontario, which is very, very important and that most people don't understand, is we have accident benefits. I like to take a poll from time to time and ask people what no-fault insurance means. And most people think that it means it doesn't matter whose fault it is, you don't have a lawsuit. And on the basic face of it, that's sort of what it does mean. But one of the things that it means is that we have a system of accident benefits which are available to people to help them get better immediately following a car accident. What it means is that when you are injured and you maybe go to the hospital or you go see your family doctor and then you are discharged, generally there's not a lot of service in Ontario to help you follow up after that point, even though you may need physiotherapy, you may need to see a psychologist, you may need to see a chiropractor, you may need an occupational therapist, you may need assistive devices or equipment in your home. You may need somebody to help arrange for wheelchairs or special equipment for your bathroom and things like that. And none of that is covered as a general rule through the OHIP healthcare system. So one of the things that has happened recently in Ontario, we started out with a very generous system of accident benefits in 1991, and gradually over time that has changed so that the system that we have currently is a much different animal than what we started out with. Today, we have only $50,000 of basic coverage in terms of the benefits that you need from a medical and rehabilitation perspective, and also most people don't have, through work, adequate policies of insurance that protect them if they can't work anymore or they have no benefits through work. And so what that means is that one of the most dangerous things that you do on a daily basis is you get in a car and drive, you get in a car as a passenger, or you are around cars as a pedestrian. And that's the reality of North American life, is that that's one of the most dangerous things that we do on a daily basis. And what most people don't understand is that you have these benefits that are basic benefits under your policy, but you also have benefits that are available for purchase for a relatively nominal amount of money that are available if you speak to your agent or your broker or whatever the service is that you buy your insurance from. They can explain these benefits to you. And in fact, they have an obligation to explain them to you. But unfortunately, quite often that doesn't happen, and people don't really have an understanding of what an accident benefit is any more than they have an understanding of what liability insurance means. Most people don't know what that means. So in Ontario, one of the most important forms of insurance that we have that is rarely accessed is we have optional accident benefits. The basic policy is $400 a week in terms of income replacement benefits. And for some people, that's adequate. It covers 70% of your pre-accident earnings to a maximum of $400 per week. In Ontario, you can buy optional benefits that increase those limits to $600 a week, $800 per week, or $1,000 per week, but still that covers you up to 70% of your gross earnings prior to the accident. The other thing that we have is we have optional medical and rehabilitation benefits. Medical and rehabilitation benefits are probably, besides the income replacement, the benefit that's going to be the difference between you getting back to your normal life and you not getting back to your normal life. The changes that were made in 2010 reduced your limits on basic coverage from $100,000 of medical rehabilitation benefits down to $50,000 of medical rehabilitation benefits. We've had clients after the changes in 2010 who have used up, because they've had very serious injuries, and it's generally a bigger problem in young people because they have longer to rehabilitate and are going to need those benefits over the course of a longer lifetime. So we've had people who have gone through their $50,000 of medical rehabilitation coverage within months following an accident, and that's all that's available to them. It's an extra problem if, for whatever reason, there's no lawsuit, because then you don't have any access to further funding that might be able to help you with those things in terms of getting better. So I really would encourage, and I think the most important thing in terms of liability insurance and car insurance and all of these things, I really encourage and probably drive everybody that I know crazy talking about these optional accident benefits, because I do believe it's so important because of how much we are around cars in North America. And if you have those benefits available to you and they're relatively cheap, why would you not buy them to protect yourself and to protect your family especially? And I really encourage people to speak to their agents and their brokers and say, please explain this to me, explain how this works, explain how much it costs, and tell me why I need them so that I can make an informed decision. Because the problem is that most people are not making informed decisions when it comes to their auto insurance or any form of insurance. People believe that auto insurance is a commodity, that it has been commoditized by the insurance industry itself. They're constantly nattering away at you on 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car insurance, and that's the message that's delivered, is that insurance it's a necessary product. The government tells you that you have to have it at law, but you should get the bare bones coverage that you can for the least amount of money that you can, which is terrible advice. So I would just encourage people to really think about their insurance product quite a bit differently than what they do right now.